Welcome back, history lovers. Imagine a single date, September 24th, holding some of the most surprising, dramatic, and transformative events in human history. On this day, the United States launched its postal service, revolutionizing communication. Flying machines took to the skies, empires and industries rose, and global conflicts reshaped nations. Pop culture milestones and powerful voices for change left their mark. From Wall Street crashes to iconic music releases, and from war to climate activism, September 24th is a date full of stories that might shock you, inspire you, and make you rethink history itself. Stay with us as we uncover these unforgettable events. Let's start in 1789, just a few years after the United States won its independence. The young nation faced countless challenges, political, economic, and social, but one critical issue was clear: how to connect a sprawling population across vast and often dangerous distances. On September 24, 1789, Congress established the United States Postal Service. It wasn't just a matter of convenience, it was a revolutionary step in uniting a fledgling country. Imagine letters carefully carried on horseback through forests, rivers, and rough terrain, traveling hundreds of miles to reach families, merchants, and politicians. Each delivery carried not just words, but ideas, news, and sometimes even life-changing information. The Postal Service enabled people to stay informed about local and national events, conduct business across states, and maintain relationships despite the challenges of distance. It laid the groundwork for a connected society, a communication network that literally held the young nation together. Consider this: without the USPS, the speed at which news, legal documents, and political ideas spread would have been drastically slower, and the nation's ability to coordinate, govern, and thrive could have been compromised. The creation of the Postal Service was a foundational moment in American history, an invention of infrastructure that would shape the identity of the United States for centuries to come. Fast forward to 1852, a time when humans were only beginning to dream seriously of flight. On September 24th, French engineer Henri Giffard achieved a groundbreaking milestone: the first powered flight of a Zeppelin, a massive lighter-than-air airship. Picture the scene: a long, cigar-shaped craft, powered and steered through the air with delicate precision, rising above the French countryside. Unlike hot air balloons that drifted wherever the wind took them, Giffard's Zeppelin could be controlled, making it a true marvel of engineering. This was more than a spectacle, it was a glimpse into the future. It showed that humans could one day traverse continents through the air, transport cargo efficiently, and even explore the skies in ways previously confined to imagination. Inventors, engineers, and visionaries around the world were inspired by this achievement, and it laid the groundwork for the airships, airplanes, and aerial innovations that would follow in the next century. Giffard's flight was not just a technical accomplishment, it was a bold declaration of human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of progress. On that day, the skies became a little more human, and the dream of flight took one giant leap forward. September 24th, 1869, a day forever etched in financial history as Black Friday. Wall Street, the heart of America's young financial system, was thrown into utter chaos when the gold market collapsed spectacularly. Picture brokers running through crowded trading floors, faces pale with shock, papers flying as they scrambled to salvage their investments. Fortune after fortune vanished in mere hours, and panic spread not just among the wealthy elite, but across banks, merchants, and ordinary citizens who had stakes tied to the market. The crash was fueled by speculation, manipulation, and sheer greed. Two powerful financiers, Jay Gould and James Fisk, had attempted to corner the gold market, hoping to inflate prices for immense profit. Their scheme unraveled catastrophically, exposing vulnerabilities in the U.S. financial system. But the story isn't just about money lost, it's about the birth of lessons that continue to shape markets today. The dangers of speculation, the need for regulation, and the reality that markets, no matter how powerful, can collapse when human ambition exceeds ethical boundaries. On this day, America learned firsthand how fragile wealth can be and how quickly fortune can turn to disaster. Let's travel to Japan, just a few years after the devastation of World War II. On September 24, 1948, a visionary named Soichiro Honda, along with Takeo Fujisawa, founded the Honda Motor Company. Their goal was simple yet ambitious: to create reliable, efficient motorcycles that could help a recovering nation move forward. Imagine Japan at that time, cities rebuilding from rubble, industries struggling, and a population eager for mobility and innovation. Into this landscape came Honda, starting with small, practical motorcycles, affordable and accessible to ordinary people. These machines weren't just vehicles, they were symbols of progress, hope, and ingenuity. But Honda's vision didn't stop there. Over the decades, the company expanded into automobiles, engines, robotics, and even motorsports. Their commitment to engineering excellence, innovation, and resilience transformed Honda from a small post-war workshop into a global powerhouse. Every Honda motorcycle or car we see today traces its roots back to that modest founding day. September 24th, 1948, a day that changed transportation history forever. Now, let's turn to the Middle East. On September 24th, 1980, Iraq launched a full-scale invasion of Iran, igniting a conflict that would last an astonishing 8 years, the Iran-Iraq War. Her rise to leadership wasn't just symbolic. It sparked national and international conversations about gender equality, the barriers women face in politics, and the importance of diverse perspectives in governance. Young women across Japan and Asia saw a new possibility, that they too could aspire to the highest offices of power. But Kamikawa's appointment also raised questions about political culture, tradition, and the pace of social change. It showed that achieving representation is just the first step. The real challenge lies in transforming institutions and attitudes. This milestone wasn't only about one woman in office. It was about the ripple effect her leadership could have on generations to come. Now, let's step into the world of music and culture. On September 24th, 1991, Nirvana released their groundbreaking album, Nevermind. At first, no one could have predicted what was about to happen. Within months, the album skyrocketed, selling millions of copies and topping charts worldwide. At the heart of it was Smells Like Teen Spirit, a song that captured the raw frustration, rebellion, and identity crisis of an entire generation. It wasn't polished pop, it was gritty, loud, and unapologetically real. And that's exactly why it connected. Teenagers who felt misunderstood suddenly had an anthem. The release of Nevermind didn't just change music, it rewrote the rules of the industry. It knocked 80s glam rock off the charts and pushed grunge, with its flannel shirts, messy hair, and anti-establishment vibe, into the mainstream. Seattle became the epicenter of a new cultural wave. For many, Nirvana gave a voice to feelings they couldn't put into words. And even decades later, Nevermind remains more than an album. It's a cultural milestone, forever tied to the spirit of the early 90s. Now, let's shift focus to social policy and gender issues. On September 24th, 1998, Iran enacted a regulation that prohibited women from consuming beer and wine. While it may seem like a small restriction, it highlighted deep cultural, religious, and political dynamics in Iranian society. This law was part of broader debates about morality, tradition, and the role of women in public life. For many, it became a symbol of how legislation can directly affect personal freedoms, daily routines, and social behavior. Women navigated new limitations, sparking conversations about gender equality, cultural norms, and the intersection of law and personal liberty. It's a stark reminder that policies are never just abstract rules, they shape real lives, influence societies, and can ignite discussions that resonate far beyond national borders. Now, let's move to Japan. September 24th, 2007. On this day, Yoko Kamikawa became the first female prime minister in Japanese history, a groundbreaking moment in a nation where politics had long been dominated by men. Her rise to leadership wasn't just symbolic. It sparked national and international conversations about gender equality, the barriers women face in politics, and the importance of diverse perspectives in governance. Young women across Japan and Asia saw a new possibility, that they too could aspire to the highest offices of power. But Kamikawa's appointment also raised questions about political culture, tradition, and the pace of social change. It showed that achieving representation is just the first step. The real challenge lies in transforming institutions and attitudes. This milestone wasn't only about one woman in office. It was about the ripple effect her leadership could have on generations to come. Let's travel to September 24th, 2019. The stage was the United Nations Climate Action Summit in New York City, and the world was watching. Swedish activist Greta Thunberg stepped up to the podium and delivered her now famous words, "How dare you?" But this wasn't just a rhetorical flourish, it was a seismic moment in modern activism. Greta spoke with urgency and moral clarity, calling out world leaders for their inaction on climate change. Her speech highlighted the stark reality: rising temperatures, melting ice caps, and extreme weather events threaten millions of lives. Imagine being a teenager, standing before the most powerful people on the planet, and demanding accountability, not with politeness, but with unwavering conviction. Millions of young people across the globe felt inspired, motivated, and empowered to join a movement that transcends borders. Greta's words remind us that age doesn't define impact, and one voice, when amplified by truth and courage, can spark global action. And that brings us to the end of September 24th in history. From the creation of the U.S. Postal Service that connected a nation to the first Zeppelin flight that expanded the skies to wars, innovations, and speeches that shook the world. Each event reminds us that history isn't just about dates, but about the choices, struggles, and dreams that shape our lives today. Which of these moments surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to today's History Official, and hit the bell so you never miss a story from the past that still echoes in our present. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode where history comes alive, one day at a time.